Beauty demands to be observed. This is the first principle of aesthetics, deriving from Greek philosophy. Like many other things, the perception of beauty is partly innate and partly culturally determined. Monet and the other Impressionists caused a riot when their paintings were first exhibited. It was seen as haphazard, lacking form or discipline, and yet Monet's water lilies are seen today as the epitome of beauty for beauty's sake. Perhaps art as the pure pursuit and rendering of beauty ended with the death of Monet in 1926. Until that time, art was concerned with mimesis, the representation of nature. Artists of different eras concentrated on different aspects. In the Renaissance, perspective was rediscovered. The Impressionists, especially Monet, were concerned with the perception of light in its different aspects. That is what we perceive as beauty, the quality present in a thing or person that gives intense pleasure or deep satisfaction to the mind, whether arising from a shape, color, or sound. Or it can be meaningful design or pattern, or something else. The recent retrospective of the work of Marina&Abromovic at the Museum of Modern Art is pure and simple a celebration of death. She takes on the role of Medusa, though the illusion is never mentioned, turning her subjects, anyone who looks at her, into stone as she sits motionless in the lobby for hours, days, weeks, facing her string of frozen assistants. Upstairs there are at least a dozen more victims, mostly undressed, in uninteresting poses. One woman occasionally blinking as she lies under a skeleton. Another couple sitting back to back with their hair tied together. It seems like torture. The words sadism and masochism come to mind. In the video, she coolly discusses cannibalism in rats with a pile of bones lying on the gallery floor. On the screen, she pulls out of her dress a red scarf and, screaming with joy, breaks into an ecstatic dance. Another video of another ecstatic dance shows ululating women in the rain running one by one up to the camera and lifting their skirts to reveal their private parts. Across the gallery, a screening of naked men in a field, butts bobbing as they hump the ground. Even these fertility rites are rendered banal, robbed of all sensuality, drained of life. Performance art, since its inception in the 1960s, has often involved self-abuse, self-abasement, and even self-inflicted bodily harm. In 1970, a performance artist by the name of Chris Burton had himself shot in the arm by an assistant. Abramovic followed in 1973 with her first performance. Stripping away the academic-sounding rationale, I will just describe the performance itself. It was a game called Five-Finger Fillet, in which she used rhythmic knife jabs aimed between her splayed fingers. After cutting herself 20 times, she sought to actually replicate her mistakes. Several of her performances since then have involved some form of self-inflicted harm. Is this not similar to the geek in the original sense, a sideshow performer who, lacking other talents, bit the heads off of live chickens? An act which through repetition produces not shock, but only disgust. It was really not modernism, but postmodernism that sought to save art by destroying it. To paraphrase the now infamous Vietnam era statement, we want to save the village by destroying it. And how did postmodernism wish to destroy art? By changing the purpose of art. But must art? Can art even have a purpose? What about art for art's sake? Art, either with or without conscious intent, upholds certain values. Over time, some values are disposed of, some are retained, and some are added. And since art is long, the result is cumulative. For example, humanism, the concept that man, pardon the expression, is the measure of all things, has remained from Greek times, sometimes in the forefront, sometimes in the background, but as long as a work of art has any attribution, singular or plural, there is inherently a celebration, at least an acknowledgement of life. Postmodernism attempts to disabuse us of that presumption. It is purely didactic, and what it teaches is nihilism, loss of values, loss of meaning, without emotion but heavy on irony. It is pulling the wings off butterflies.